boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm For Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what we do have in here is Corruption 2029. This game it is developed by the bearded ladies. This is the most what the hell name I ever heard. But these guys are the developers of the game like games like Mutant the Year Zero Road to Eden, which I believe it was offered recently on the Epic Store. Mutant Year Zero, it is pretty much a turn-based game like XCOM, and Corruption 2029, it follows the same game type. This game it is using Unreal Engine 4, just like the Mutant Year Zero, and this Corruption 2029, it was released pretty much like 1 year after the Mutant Year Zero, so it's just 1 year and 2 months. So they just took like 1 year and 2 months to release a new game, but unfortunately not all the things are good about that. So let's take a look on the settings. I'm playing with the median settings with textures on high. This might sound a little bit bad, but this is only if you want to get a sustainable 60 frames per second all the time, which is not really mandatory for a turn-based game. So let's take a look on the requirements. These guys ask for an FX CPU as a recommended, 8 gigs of RAM, and the GTX 970. So I could assume that we are slightly above the recommended. So I guess we are completely fine with the requirements. Now let's jump into the results. So first of all, I tried to play the game maxed out, which is the high settings in this game. And just at the very beginning, I got some drops to 50 frames per second, alright, then it got really back up, but I don't know what are the forward maps, but if you want to get a sustainable 60 frames per second, you need to drop down to median settings. But this is a turn-based game, so frame rate doesn't really matter that much. So if you want to go full on with maximum settings, that is no issues whatsoever, it won't get you in the way of your gameplay. If you want to go to 1440p, the median settings, it is what I do recommend. You get an average of 50 frames per second with a 1% low of 42. Wrapping all these results, this is what you get. Below median settings, you only got like the minimum settings where you lose volumetric lighting, which makes a huge deal on the graphics visuals. And lower than minimum settings, you only have integrated graphics, which removes pretty much every stuff from the map. I mean, reflections, shadows, everything it is lost. It looks really bad to play in integrated graphics. So for this graphic card, I would say the minimum you should go, it is the median settings. Alright, whatever the resolution you should go for. So as for the game itself, this is probably good and bad. Corruption 2029 feels pretty much the same game as Mutant Year Zero. It follows exactly the same gameplay. Everything it feels the same. Alright, even the visuals look the same. Everything feels the same entirely. It's just a more mature team, because Mutant Year Zero, they had like some generic characters but with great icons. You have a duck, you had the pig, so it was interesting on that behalf. But you know, the story was pretty generic, alright? It didn't really evolve into something serious, but the gameplay of XCOM, it was there. It isn't as good as XCOM, but it is a good placeholder if you are tired of XCOM theme and stuff like that, and you want to get a game very similar to XCOM. Mutant Year Zero, it was a good choice for that. And Corruption 2029, it is also a good choice, but instead of having an animated set of characters, you now have a more serious stuff. You know, a more serious story and stuff like that, but still it doesn't really evolve a lot into a good story, but everything feels more serious, more adults than Mutant Year Zero. But after that, there aren't any big changes. The game feels exactly like Mutant Year Zero, nothing evolved. Even the bugs are pretty much the same as Mutant Year Zero. So yes, this game only took like 1 year and 2 months to be developed. But yeah, that's pretty much that. It is pretty much the same game. So if you played Mutant Year Zero and you didn't enjoy that much that game, probably Corruption 2029, it isn't a good choice for you. But if you really loved Mutant Year Zero and you want more of that gameplay, then Corruption 2029, it is clearly for you. And if you never played Mutant Year Zero and you like XCOM, this is a great game for you to buy and enjoy it. Unfortunately, this game for now it is exclusive to Epic Store, so you can't get the game for Steam. But on the bright side, the game it's really cheap. You can get it from Epic Store for $19.99. I think it's so damn cheap for the release price. And oh my god, it is just cheap. So if you like XCOM games and you have 20 euros to spare or $20, just go to Epic Store and buy the damn game. Alright, so guys, that's all that I want to talk about Corruption 2029. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Fortunately for us, the Harpy appears to be loosely guarded. Most likely the remainder of the response team. Commander, you are free to approach your objective however you like. Use sneak to scope out objectives and look for weak points. Or use brute force to attempt to overpower the enemy.
Responders are taking longer than I thought. Could you get through to them?
Nope. But that's nothing new. Those idiots are up at the motel running jammers. Probably got the frequencies screwed up again.
Yeah. Those guys don't give a shit about anybody out here. At least they aren't the ones setting up the weapon. Or we'd all be toast.
Damn straight.
Somebody's cruising for a bruising.
He's been lying to me. Agent is coming, and I see it. It's not pretty, and it's gonna mess you up.
Shit! They're down!
Got that.
expire if you don't heal them ASAP.
Too easy. Defending.
Confirmed. On it. I'm out. Reloading. Eye sharp.
Covering area.
Nicely done, Commander. That's all ride secured. I will update you from inside the heartbeat.